Who I'm going to vote for. I'm definitely not going to vote for Trump because I think that he's projecting very complex problems onto simple villains.
We told you so. To all these white working class voters, we told you so. We told you that Trump was going to be a terrible candidate. We told you that you were an idiot if you voted for him.
Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, wasn't always a MAGA advocate. Back in 2016, Vance was an outspoken critic of then-candidate Trump.
There is definitely an element of Donald Trump's support that has its basis in racism or xenophobia.
Vance predicted a Trump loss.
But I've noticed this willingness from people who think a lot like I do that, look, we told you so. To all these white working class voters, we told you so. We told you that Trump was going to be a terrible candidate. We told you that you were an idiot if you voted for him.
And in now deleted tweets, J.D. Vance called Trump reprehensible. Fellow Christians, everyone is watching us when we apologize for this man. Lord help us, Vance wrote. Privately, Vance was even more critical, messaging a friend that Trump could be, quote, America's Hitler.
I never liked him.
Fast forward a few years later, when Vance ran for Senate in Ohio as a Republican. That's when he unveiled a new persona, Trump defender.
Are we having a good time? Is it great to have the president back in Ohio?
Vance's MAGA pivot resulted in him winning a seat in the Senate.
And we won big.
And now a place alongside Donald Trump on the 2024 Republican ticket.
There you see on the left, this was the scene here late today when J.D. Vance made his first appearance in this convention hall. They had just announced through a tweet from Donald Trump that J.D. Vance would be the running mate. John Santucci, who's covered Donald Trump for many years for us, take us inside the campaign in these final hours. We know J.D. Vance did not have a lot of time to prepare for this moment. He was getting the phone call, did not know whether it was going to be a good one or a bad one, what the message of the call would be. 20 minutes later, Donald Trump made the announcement.
Yeah, just remarkable, David. Only 20 minutes notice for J.D. Vance and his family's life to completely change. You know, our team learned, David, that in some ways the campaign was preparing for this. Secret Service actually arriving at J.D. Vance's home in Ohio earlier this morning, help escort the senator and his family here to Milwaukee. And he was calling people saying, has anybody heard anything? I spoke to one source that said, do you guys heard anything? They all were on pins and needles waiting. And you mentioned Donald Trump Jr. there. He himself, I'm told, David, by my sources, was actively working the phone this morning to get his friend on the ticket. Clearly successful, David.
I did change my mind about Donald Trump. He was a great president. He's been the greatest president of my lifetime.
J.D. Vance, who spoke openly, very critical of Donald Trump for quite some time. He had said things along the lines of, I can't stomach Trump. I think he's leading the white working class to a very dark place. I am a never Trump guy. I never liked him. These were the interviews that he gave.
To all these white working class voters, we told you so. We told you that Trump was going to be a terrible candidate. We told you that you were an idiot if you voted for him.
He was then pressed by ABC News, John Carl, not so long ago, about this turn, now a supporter of Donald Trump, and now his running mate.
Yeah,
extraordinary turn, but this is politics in America.
Oh, this is politics,
yeah.
and this is certainly politics of the Trump era. And he said, when Vance got to know me, he was all in, and that's entirely true. And Vance does have a pretty good answer to this, which is all of the criticism is 2016. So all of the criticism and it was very harsh criticism that J.D. Vance had, and we're going to hear a lot from Democrats, I am sure, over the next 4 months. But all of it was before Donald Trump was president. So now he can simply say that was before he was president. He became president. He convinced me. I think he's great.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.